Good evening, viewers. Welcome to our next session of Sandy Wars. As usual, we bring to you another war hero today with another glorious chapter in the annals of Indian military history. Like we have been doing for a while now, we are bringing you victors. In the 1962 India-China War, amidst all the gloom, amidst all the defeats and sad stories, we have brought you a series of participants, war heroes who have fought glorious actions and stayed unbeaten. Today we have for you Brigadier retired Gurcharan Singh Gosal, who at that time as Captain Gosal was the officer in charge of 7 Bengal Mountain Battery, which was part of the senior most artillery regiment of the Indian Army, the 22 Mountain Regiment. He was part of 4th Division, 4 Div in Tawang, in the Tawang area of operations. He was supporting 1 Sikh battalion on the Bum-la-Tawang axis. And to my knowledge, as I can recollect now, that was the only combat action in 1962 India-China War where an Indian army unit remained undefeated. Undefeated in front of the overwhelming Chinese might. They fought on their own terms. They wrapped up the battle on their own terms. And now instead of making it about me and making it monotonous for you, I'll hand over the mic to Brigadier G.S. Gosal, sir. It's all yours now.
It is Sandeep, sorry, it is Gosal, not Gosal.
Okay, sir. My
It is
mistakes.
Gosal. Don't worry, nothing to worry.
Brigadier Gosal, he will tell you now, right starting from his induction, from the time his battery was inducted in the area of operation, how it went since then. Over to you, Brigadier Gosal, sir.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you so much. Uh, I was part of 22 Mountain Regiment. Initially, we were located at Shillong. In 59, we were shifted to Missamari.
So your voice is coming a little soft, sir. You need to bring it a little closer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We were located at Shillong. In 59, we were inducted into the Assam Valley at Missamari oblique Tezpur. In 1960, this battery was taken to Tawang, and without any animals, we were deployed there to support the 29GR.
19GR, sir. 19GR.
I fought 19GR. They were initially part of us, and we were supporting them. After 7 Brigade was shifted to Nyamkachu Valley, this sector was handed over to Brigadier Kalyan Singh. He was the CRT of 4 Mountain Division. Under him at that time was only 1 battalion, that is 1st Sikh. Thereafter, we were
Fort Gadwal was brought in, sir.
we were reinforced with 4 Garhwal. But there was only 1 company of 4 Garhwal which had come to Tawang sector. Anyway, we shifted as the hostilities were imminent. We shifted to our defenses at Melek Tongla, Tongpingla, IB Ridge, and Bumla. Bumla Pass was being looked after by Assam Rifle Platoon, and thereafter 1 platoon of 1st Sikh under Subedar Joginder Singh was deployed at IB Ridge, and the rest of the company was deployed at Tongpingla to look after the Bumla-Tawang axis. The rest of the battalion was at Melek Tongla. my battery was in support of first Sikh from day one as we shifted to the main defenses. Initially, I was deployed with Subedar Joginder Singh at the IB Ridge. I had carried out my silent registration in the area so that when need arises, I could engage the enemy as uh, accurately as possible.
Were you the OP officer, sir, at the IB Ridge?
I was the OP officer with First Sikh. Uh, at the same time, if you ask me frankly, I was commanding the 7 Bengal Mountain Battery also. I was the officiating uh, BC of 7 Bengal Mountain Battery. To support me was Lieutenant Akshay Kapila, who was my GPO, looking after the guns and the fire of the guns as and when required.
How many guns did you have, sir?
We had 4 guns. All mountain batteries used to have 4 guns. That was 3.7 howitzer. Unfortunately, the range of 3.7 howitzer was not very uh, long. It was only maximum range was 6,800. Anyway, as we were deployed, I was with Sudhar Joginder Singh, and we used to see the activities of the Chinese in front of us. They were about 1,000 yards to 1,500 yards away from Bumla Pass. We saw them carrying out their physical training in the morning, and one fine day, almost 1,000 uh, porters or workers came with them, and they dug down their defenses. So that is the stage when we knew that they are meaning some business. On night 22nd, 23rd, at about midnight, I got a call from my adjutant, Captain Pillay, that Gosal, you shift to the main company locality. It was midnight, and I had to walk in dark for about 3 kilometers. I
From Mila, sir? From Mila Tongla, you walked?
Yeah, from IB Ridge to
Okay, we
Tong
came back.
Pingla. Yeah,
Okay.
I had to come back to the company locality. That was at Tong Pingla. To be very frank, I was very furious with him. I said, "Sir, what are you doing? I will come in the morning. Why are you forcing me to come at this stage?" So then he told me that the 7th Brigade is in a bad shape. They are almost uh, have been run over. So it is important for you to come to the company locality. So I packed my stuff, carried my heavy communication set. We had to carry the batteries, we had to carry the set, we had to carry our whatever little bedding we had or the stuff we had. So we marched back to the company locality.
We as in who all, sir? We as in who all?
Say again,
Who all were with you?
my party, OP party, my technical assistant, and operators, communication operators.
Do you remember their names, sir?
Sorry, yeah, it's over 60 years.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to remember the old names. Anyway, we marched back and landed up in the company locality which was being commanded by Haripal Kaushik, the Olympian
Sir, okay.
hockey player, Olympian hockey player.
So
Very
that
fine.
was company less platoon, right? Company less platoon.
That time it was company less platoon. Platoon was with Subedar Joginder Singh. But later on, we were reinforced by the battalion by another platoon. So we became a full company. Now, uh, so I went to his bunker, his uh, Haripal Kaushik, and he said, "Come on, sir, rest for a while." So I also uh, lie down, and I think it was only about 2 hours when we started hearing the shots across the Bumla area. It was about, I think, 4:30 because it gets it's early morning.
First
So
light, sir. First light.
yeah, you can say first light. Just before first light, the Chinese within no time they overpowered the Assam rifles. Thereafter, they moved towards IB Ridge under Subedar Joginder Singh. So I had, as I told you, I had already done silent registration of the various targets which could come up. Uh, I was very lucky in the sense that while in Tawang sector, I had carried out actual firing by creating a artillery range about 6 months before this operation. That helped me a lot to know that the guns were uh, mm, were firing accurately, and whatever the met conditions were, they were being looked after. So the moment we got to know that Subedar Joginder Singh's platoon has been attacked, I asked my gun position officer, Lieutenant Kapila, to open the fire at the maximum range. I gave him a target with 6,800 range, and I asked him to fire at maximum range.
Sir, 6,800 meters or yards?
Yards, yards. So he fired at the maximum range, and luckily for me, that round landed in front of my eyes. I could make out where it has landed. Thereafter, there was no problem. I could accurate the fire of the guns as and when required, or as uh, suggested by Subedar Joginder Singh.
So was he on RT communication? Subedar Joginder Singh?
Yeah, no, it was not RT communication. Subedar Joginder Singh was in communication with the company commander, Haripal
Field telephone.
Kaushik,
On
and
field
I
telephone.
was also sitting in his bunker.
So field telephone, sir?
Say again?
Was it field telephone? Mode of
No,
communication?
it was communication on wireless set.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, it was communication on wireless set. So Subedar Joginder was telling Haripal Kaushik that the Chinese are approximately about 500 yards from me. They are forming up. And so I could, after seeing the first round at the maximum range, now I could adjust that fire to help Subedar Joginder Singh's platoon. The ultimately a stage came when two boys from Subedar Joginder Singh platoon came back to say that we want Subedar Sahab has sent us to get some more ammunition. But by the time the things were bad and Subedar Joginder Singh was already wounded, and but I kept on giving him sport so long he could tell us where exactly the rounds are landing. The stage came when uh, Company Commander Kaushik asked Subedar Joginder Singh, can we go in for red over red? Red over red means that you fire your guns onto the own platoon locality or onto your own troops. So Subedar Joginder Singh said, yes, sir, we are in our trenches. You go ahead. So we fired into that area also. Thereafter, uh, as we the communication with Subedar Joginder Singh went for a 6. We could not communicate with him. So it was understood that the platoon has been overrun by the Chinese.
Sir, how do you know he was wounded?
Say again?
How do you know he was injured, Subedar Joginder Singh?
He, he told the company commander that I have been injured, but I am still alive and doing my duty.
Okay.
Uh, as you know, thereafter, Subedar Joginder Singh was awarded with Paramveer Chakra, the highest award of the Indian Army. Uh, now
So by
the
what time did they get overrun? By what time was the platoon position overrun?
uh, I would say about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
So they held on for 2 hours.
Yeah, they held on for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I'm sure thereafter also, once we fired our guns in red and red, they must have carried on whatever they could, may have come out of the bunkers or trenches and had a hand-to-hand fight with the Chinese. So thereafter, Chinese, uh, I would say, they had a bit of, uh, uh, they slowed down their action. Probably they were reorganizing to attack the company.
So the IB Ridge position was in a defile, right?
No, it was not on a defile. IB Ridge was comparatively, as compared to Bumla, it was on a higher feature.
Okay, so
Though
the
not very
Chinese
high.
were the Chinese could be enfiladed from there.
Say again?
The Chinese could be enfiladed. They were the accurate fire could be brought on them in the open on the
Yeah,
dead
yeah,
ground.
yeah, yeah.
So
The
was any way to bypass the IB Ridge, sir? Could the Chinese bypass it?
No, they couldn't have bypassed. To come to our locality, they had to capture that IB Ridge. As far as now coming to our company locality, we were in a sort of a uh, horseshoe area. In front of us, the ground was open, and the the features on which our defenses were, it was in a horseshoe manner. So we could see in front of us very clearly any deployment or any concentration of the Chinese.
Were there twin peaks in between, sir? The twin peaks?
Yeah,
Whether
the Twin Peaks were on to our left side.
okay.
Twin Peaks were on our left side, and the 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 bowl which I'm talking about, the horseshoe manner, it was totally in front of us, and we could cover this horseshoe from three different sides: the right side, the center, and the left side, that is the Twin Peaks.
Did the company have heavy mortar support, sir, apart from your artillery guns?
Yeah, there was a troop of heavy mortars, but um, I'm not too sure if they. I don't think they were effective um, in the initial battle. The My guns were deployed on the Smatsu axis. Smatsu. There were two axes. One was from Bukla to Miliktongla. The other one was from Smatsu to um, Miliktongla. So my guns were deployed in such a manner that they could support both the axes if required.
So Smatsu is on the left, sir, to your left.
Yeah, Smatsu was on to my left, and we were on the right side towards from Miliktongla towards Tongpingla.
So was there infantry cover on the Smatsu axis from Fort Gadwal?
Uh, I I I think there's a company or two platoons. I'm not too sure at this moment as to how big was the concentration on Smatsu axis.
So they were from Delta Company 1 Sikh, or they were from, so they were Gadwalis.
Say again?
So was this concentration on that axis, was it from the Delta Company of 1 Sikh or from the Gadwalis?
No, the other companies of the battalion were at Melektonga.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and now unfortunately we were not given orders to open fire of the guns. It had to come from the Eastern Command headquarters. And you'll be surprised, I'm sorry to say, that I had taken a very bold decision. I told the battalion commander, Colonel Mehta, that we are in touch with the enemy. We are being fired at, we are being attacked, and you don't want me to open fire.
So when you fired on IB Ridge, you did it without orders from command.
Yes, without orders from command headquarters. I told the battalion commander that I will not be responsible if you don't permit me to open my guns. So I opened the guns without permission from the command headquarters.
How about brigade? How about Brigadier Kalyan Singh's brigade?
Um, I was not in communication with the brigade headquarters. The battalion headquarters must be in communication. They must have asked him, I don't know. Uh, Thereafter, at about 8 o'clock, the command headquarters permission came to open fire. In the meantime, I had already opened fire.
How many rounds would you have fired off, sir, in those hours in the morning?
Uh, I think during the day, complete day, we must have fired about 600 to 800 rounds for the complete day from 4 guns. And I'll just explain to you how it has happened. After the IB Ridge, the Chinese came to their assembly area in front of us in that horseshoe area. We could see them approaching that area, and under uh, cover of vegetation, they were trying to form up and attack us.
What was the strength, sir? Enemy strength?
It was anything uh, from 800 to 1,000 men.
So they had a complement of one full regiment plus four companies on that axis.
Yeah,
Bumla.
that is over the time they deployed. They deployed thrice. They attacked us three times. This was the first attack. What I am talking. That was uh, it was a frontal attack on our company,
So,
and I really thrashed them right and proper. My I must give full marks to my gun position officer, who Lieutenant Akshay Kapila, who gave me very, very accurate fire and very quick fire.
how many people did you have, sir, in the gun positions in your company in the battery?
Gun position, we had about 100, people. We, we had about 30 odd mules at the gun position, because those are the mules which carried the guns to that location, and if need be, they were to be utilized for shifting the guns if required.
So were there guns on the reverse slope? Where were your guns located?
Guns were, it was a reasonably, I would say, open area, uh, not on the reverse slopes. It was uh, generally open area, where we had dug our gun position. The gun pits were dug, and the guns were put inside the gun pits.
So did you have counter battery fire from the Chinese?
Say again?
Did you suffer counter battery fire from the Chinese?
No, they had mortars only.
Okay.
They fired with mortars, and it used to land in our area. But luckily, as we were in well dug in position, and we did not suffer uh, any casualties. So
Great,
the
sir.
first attack was repulsed, and the Chinese had to withdraw from that area.
That was around 8 in the morning, sir. Around 8, 8:30.
Yeah, it was about 7:30 to 8, and it carried on for about, um, I would say, about hour and a half.
From how many sides did they attack?
Say again?
How many sides did they try to climb? From how many sides?
They basically as I told you, that was a uh, um, horseshoe
Yeah.
horseshoe fashion area. They climbed straight onto the main defenses.
Okay.
After this attack was beaten back, they went back, or they shifted to the sides to reorganize themselves. After about, I would say, 2 hours or so, they now uh, started concentration concentrating onto the right flank.
Their
Though,
right flank. Their right or your right?
no, my right flank.
Okay.
My right flank. Uh, Yani opposite of the Twin Peaks.
Okay.
They came and occupied the Twin Peaks also, but in limited number. They used to fire only from the Twin Peaks, not attacking from the Twin Peaks.
So how far were the peaks from the company defended locality?
Say
How
again,
how far were these twin peaks from the CDL, from the company defended locality?
which one?
The twin peaks, sir. How
Twin,
far were they?
Twin Peaks were about, I would say, uh, 800 to 1,000 yards. And on the right side, there was a platoon on the right side, and they told the company commander that the Chinese are now assembling in the base of that feature. It was a difficult feature to climb, but the Chinese, as you know, they were bent upon to do something um, to take over the company locality. So they were assembling in the base of that hill feature. I could not see the area, but as I told you earlier, while visiting the platoon localities, I had done my silent registration of the likely targets. So then as they were assembling and trying to attack the company, I brought the fire of my guns onto their assembly area, and thereafter, as they were attacking, the platoon commander of that platoon kept on guiding me through the company commander as to whether the fire is effective, it is going right or left. So accordingly, I keep on shifting the fire as required by him. So as the terrain was difficult, the Chinese could not manage to capture that right platoon. They went back and probably decided to reorganize themselves again. By this time, it was about, I would say, 11:30. But in the meantime, at about 9 o'clock, we were given orders to withdraw. Again, after the first attack, they asked us to withdraw. I again spoke to the battalion commander. I said, sir, we are in contact with the enemy. They are firing on us and we are firing on them. How can we withdraw? It'll be a running withdrawal, which will be totally suicidal. So the company commander and self decided to stick on as late as possible. Now, the third attack again came from the frontal side.
At what time, sir? Third attack?
Third attack came about, I would say, 1:30, 2 o'clock. So this was no problem because I had already fired into that area. I knew each and every target. I knew each and every um, depression where they were trying to assemble themselves. So they suffered heavy casualties once again. And
Full frontal. Again, it was full frontal attack.
yeah, again, full frontal. And uh, in a way, we were lucky that they came from the front side because that area was absolutely now uh, well registered by the guns, and they could fire as much as they could as and when we required. The thereafter, um about 3 o'clock, I was still firing into that area so that the Chinese should know that we are still occupying the Tongpingla position. We decided that now is the time because it's now um, last light would be about 4:30. So we said now we should plan our withdrawal. Having uh, fought with the Chinese for the three attacks. They are also now slowed down and thought that we are well dug up, and we will not permit them to overcome so easily. Thereafter, we decided to withdraw in a systematic manner. I and company commander decided that we should withdraw one of the platoons to say about kilometer, 2 kilometers behind. They should go and occupy that position, and the moment they are ready there, then we will draw the other platoon. So, in this manner, in a staggered fashion, we withdrew all the three platoons, and by last light, we reached the Melek that is the battalion headquarters, battalion position.
So what was the order of withdrawal? When did the guns withdraw?
Guns, I had to kept on firing till the last light.
Okay.
The guns, I made them withdraw only after last light when we had already reached Melek.
So you had only one platoon cover by that time, infantry platoon with you?
With me as OP officer.
No, I am saying by that time the rest of the company had fallen back to Milaktongla, and
Yeah,
you had your battery. So what escort did you have?
no. Battery was on the, as I told you, on the Smatsu side. So there was no action on the Smatsu side.
Okay, okay, okay,
So the battery was quite comfortable. I
okay.
kept on firing till the last light so that the enemy knows that we are still there.
So you were not confronted with any enemy infantry. You were not confronted with any enemy infantry, right? The
Enemy,
battery. Any enemy infantry were not in your vicinity, the battery vicinity.
no.
Okay,
Enemy was not in the, because they did not come onto that axis. Smatsu axis was free.
okay.
The Chinese did not come onto the Smatsu axis. So till last light, the battery was quite comfortable, and we kept on firing. And uh, when I landed up in Melek, my complete company had come to the battalion headquarters. The battalion had already been given orders to withdraw. So
So
they
you
were in the,
were, as OP officer, you were with the company, with Haripal Kosh's company on Tongpenla. You fell back with them. You fell
I
back with
stayed
them.
with them till we reached till we reached Melek. I was with uh, mm, Kaushik's company, Delta company.
So when did you personally fall back, sir? When did you come down from Tongpenla? You personally.
I I personally came with the last platoon. Myself and Kaushik came with the last platoon just before the, you can say, last light. Say about half an hour before the last light, when we found that the platoon which we had sent back to take position, they had taken position. That is the time we started withdrawing, and ultimately, by about last light, we landed up in at Melek.
So you were the part of the rear guard. You are part of the rear guard, sir.
Yeah, we were that company was in a way the rear guard of the battalion. We were the last to withdraw, and when we landed up at Melek, the battalion was already given orders to withdraw. They were in the process of withdrawing to
What
Tawang.
time? What time was that, sir? Was it after 6?
Uh, yeah, I think it was after last light. It was dark. It was already dark. So that is the time I gave orders to the guns to pack up and move to Melek. I waited for them at Melek. till the guns came. And I had made sure that I told my gun position officer that you must carry some ammunition with you, because during the withdrawal there may be a chance that we have to deploy somewhere and take on the enemy if he starts following us.
So rest of the ammunition, what did he do? Did he leave it on the in the gun position?
Rest of the ammunition had to be left at the gun position. But we carried that ammunition till we reached Sela later on.
So could you evacuate the ammunition later
No, no,
from?
we could not. I mean, there was no question. The Chinese had, next day, the Chinese had already come to Milek-Tongla and other places. They started,
So could
they started,
Milak-Tongla have been defended? Was it a
again,
position which could this battalion headquarters Milak-Tongla, could it have been defended if you wanted?
no, it was a question of overall strategy. Now, the Chinese had number of uh, tracks to bypass us. They could bypass Tawang and land up in Jang and thereafter Sela, which ultimately they did. So throughout the night, we withdrew. Um, the company was ahead of me. I followed with my guns, and we landed up at Tawang at almost midnight. When I went to my battery location where I was uh, stationed during the peacetime, I found all my bunkers were on fire. All my stores were on fire. So uh, I had to, without wasting any time, I had to withdraw to Jang. Throughout the night, we moved back to Jang, and early morning, we landed up at Jang.
Which route did you take, sir, from Tawang to Jang?
From Tuang, uh, we went down to Low Basti, Low Basti, which was ahead of Jang. Then we crossed the um, Tuangku River on the bridge at Jang and crossed over, and there was a open area. We all landed up, first Sikh and my battery and other troops which were withdrawing. They all landed up in that area. So we had some spite uh, in the morning. Thereafter, we were given orders to move to Sela and take up defenses.
So tell me something. While you were at IB Ridge and one Sikh was in that entire axis, spread all over the axis, what kind of rations did you have? Did you have hard scale or did you have normal rations?
No, because we had gone and taken up our position almost about a month earlier. September, we had moved to the our defenses, and so we had uh, reasonable amount of rations. But the only thing is, when we moved back, when we withdrew, we could not carry much rations.
So
Whatever
what was your daily ration like, sir? While you were deployed on that axis from IB Ridge to Tongpenla and behind, what was the daily ration?
daily rations were, I would say, fairly good in the sense.
Huh.
No fancy things.
Huh.
Uh, it was vegetarian. It was rice, chapatis, dal, uh, uh, vegetables also could be
What
provided.
vegetable did you get, sir? What sabji did you get? Sabji?
No, I don't remember what sabzi was being offered, but whatever was cooked, we took it in the right
But
spirit.
it was proper meal. You had proper meals.
Yeah, till the date, till 23rd October, we had proper meals.
How about the uniform, sir? What kind of winter uniform did you have?
Uniform,
Yes, sir. Your clothing.
clothing, we were having these uh, warm clothing. We had uh, what do you call coat parkas. We had sleeping bags. All these things were there because they were provided to us much earlier when we were in our peace location. So we carried all these things with us when we went and took up the uh, uh, defended locality. When we took over, went and occupied the defenses.
So you were more or less autonomous as a battery OC. You were more or less autonomous. There was no one to breathe down your neck. How about your regimental commander, sir? Your CO.
My CO was at Tuang with the brigade headquarters.
What role did he play?
I would say in the Bumla axis, he did not play much role.
What was his name, sir?
His name was Colonel, Colonel Rajinder Singh.
Now, for this action, how were you commended? How were you appreciated?
Uh, very nice question. Anyway, first of all, I didn't require any appreciation. It was my moral duty, my professional duty to provide the best of fire to First Sikh, and the best appreciation came to me from First Sikh only. I'll tell you this story. When we landed up at Sela, the First Sikh was deployed to take up the new position, defensive position, and I was uh, uh, little away from Sela on the reverse slopes of Sela. So my battery was located on the reverse slopes of Sela. At that stage, General Kaul fell sick and he was rushed to Delhi. And General Harbaksh Singh was posted as corps commander. The moment he landed at Drangzong, he first came to First Sikh because he commanded First Sikh during 47-48 J&K war. So he was the commanding officer of First Sikh in J&K. He landed up at Sela and he was talking to the boys. They were the first people to appreciate my work. They told the journal that we are grateful to Captain Gosal, who gave us excellent sport and is responsible that we are back in one. And General Herbaksh, incidentally, he was also Gosal.
Okay.
He was from my ancestral village, Batukha, in Bathinda Barda area.
Okay.
So he came back to my Betty location and called me out. He said, call Captain Gosal. I went and met him. He gave me a pat on my back. He said, I am so proud that the boys are full of praise for you. I said, sir, it was my duty. I did my job. I am glad they appreciated it. So he gave me the assurance. He said, I am sure you will get your decoration. Anyway, Haripal Kaushik was recommended for VRC and he got VRC. I was also recommended for VRC, but unfortunately, the battle after Bumla went for 6. Sela fell, everybody fell. So and unfortunately, the commanding officer, Colonel Mehta, who was to recommend me, he expired, he died. So his 2IC, who was at that time doing a course in Mau, came and took over the battalion. He didn't have much knowledge, neither about me nor about the battle which we fought at Bumla. So uh, some of the other didn't materialize, and I got mentioned in dispatches for this section. I am nothing to worry. I'm quite satisfied. I did my duty. And let me tell you another thing. There's not a single book on Bumla action which has been written by various people which hasn't uh, appreciated my work in golden letters.
So, so
Uh, I wonder if you've read uh, Shiv Kunal Verma's book. His book is 1962, The War That Was Not. It is worth reading that book. He has given very much in detail from uh, 7th Brigade to all the battles which we fought during 62 war. It
sir,
is
I
very good.
believe that you, even before the Bumla action, you had been one of the officers entrusted with the recce of the Namkachu flank also, the
Yeah,
left, the 7th Brigade AOR.
you're
When,
right. I was detailed with the K- Colonel Mishra of Punjab to go and carry out the reconnaissance if our mountain guns could reach that area.
when was this, sir? When was this?
This was end of October, beginning
End of
September.
September. End of September.
No, I think beginning of September.
Beginning of, say, because 8th September, that incident happened with those Chinese coming down on Dhola, and 9th Punjab was asked to move on. That was after 8th September. So this would be somewhere, I think, after the middle of September. That's when Colonel Mitchell landed up.
Uh, I won't remember the dates. Uh, we went to Dhola Post. We stayed the night with Captain Mahavir, and we knew what is happening on Thagla. We knew that this is the place where the Chinese are going to come and attack us. It is very unfortunate, if you ask me frankly. Uh, when we went for that recce, can you imagine from Tawang, we had to march for 6 days to reach Dhola Post. We went from Shakti, crossed over that hanging bridge, went to uh, Lumla, thereafter to Lumpu, and ultimately went to Dhola Post. The
So you were in it from the very beginning. You were in it from the very beginning till the very end. So after you fell back to Sela, were you there in November, sir, when the Chinese came the next time round, or?
no, I'll tell you. Once the defenses were taken at Sela, the other units came in, other artillery units came in. For example, 6th field came in, 5 field came in, and 2 Dirajat, a section of 2 Dirajat was already there. My I was split into 2 sections. One was sent to Bomdila under uh, Lieutenant Akshay Kapila, and I was sent to Nagakuri Rumma, the Bhutan border, with 4 Rajput. One company of 4 Rajput was sent to Bhutan border
No,
to
no.
look
So
at.
I just want to get the sequence right. So after this action, when you came back on 24th, you fell back on Jang and then to Sela. After that, what happened? After 24th of October.
As far as Sela is concerned, I won't be able to tell you much because I stayed there for, uh, I think, 15, 20 days. And 62 Brigade, 65 Brigade, they were now taking over the defenses and building up. First Sikh, 4 Sikhalai, 2 Sikhalai, and I think 4 Garhwal was already there. 4 Garhwal was made as the rear guard of four Dev, and uh, Lieutenant Khuller, DK Khuller, with 2 of his guns, supported them in Nuranong area.
So Lieutenant Khuller was from which battery, sir?
He was from 2 Derajat Mountain Battery. He had to leave 2 guns uh, because there were no mules to bring them back, and other 2 guns were deployed now at Nuranong.
So at the end of it all, you have the satisfaction, you say, of a job well done, and the world knows about it, and everyone has talked about it, every written account and otherwise have talked about it. And sir, do you have the added satisfaction that you could get out of it with no casualties of your
Yeah,
company?
absolutely, very much so. I did not suffer a single casualty. Even after going to Naga Kurumbaya, that is the Bhutan border, when I was told that Sela uh, defenses are gone, I was told to withdraw. Now, company commander 4 Rajput decided to withdraw to the main axis, but I did not withdraw to the main axis. I told him that I had to march in any case. I cannot go to the main axis because it'll be totally blocked. So I withdrew from Bhutan border uh, through Menla, Pudung, where later on Brigadier Gurcharan Singh was ambushed and killed. I was lucky to get out of Pudung probably a day early.
And then could you fall back on Tejpur? I mean, what was your route? Via Bomdila?
No, no, I didn't go to Bombdila. From Bhutan border, I moved to Pudong to Menla, Menla to uh, uh, Doimara, Doimara, Doimara to foothills of um, foothills of Assam. I followed a totally different route and I marched for 10 days, almost 40 kilometers every day with my guns and my boys.
So there also you got your guns out clean. You got your
Yes,
battery out clean.
I brought my guns. Though I had only two guns, but I brought all those two guns and with ammunition till the last day. And I must tell you another thing, because our mountain gunners are very fast in marching. They are well practiced. They march approximately 5 kilometers per hour. But my dhobis, cooks, and muchis, they could not march at that speed. So what I did as a, you can say as a leader of my uh, battery, I said, you march ahead of us. You lead the column. Whatever your speed is, we'll march on that speed, but we will not leave you behind. So initially they were slow, but over the time they got so practiced, they got so strong, their willpower developed, and they marched as good as anybody else. And ultimately, we landed up in foothills. Now, I'll tell
So
you that
you
story.
crossed Bhalukpong. You crossed Bhalukpong and then went to Tejpur, core headquarters. So did you, after Doimara, did you cross Bhalukpong?
From Doimara, we came to Rupa,
Okay.
Rupa to foothills. When we landed up at Rupa, we learned that the Chinese have unilaterally decided to uh, stop the uh, what do you call operations.
That was 21st of November when they decided to
Yeah,
stop. It's 21st.
yeah,
So you were the last. You were among the last at Rupa.
yeah. We were one of the last. I
So Chinese were just at your heels. Chinese must have been at your heels.
Chinese. No, as I said, they they did come to Pudong, where Hushar Singh's party was ambushed and he was killed there. I had crossed that a day early. If I had delayed for a day, I would have been also ambushed. It was lucky for me. Anyway, I made sure that my morale of my boys were on top. I we had nothing to eat for about 2 3 days. We had some rations with us, which we were carrying. Thereafter, uh, we had to depend upon some of the locals. Locals in the sense there was some maize field. We took those buttas and ate them. Uh, we took some uh, mooli, gajar from their fields, and
So I must say your boys were lucky that they had an OC like you. You brought them out clean without cash, both equipment and boys.
say again,
I said your boys of the Bengal battery,
Hanji.
they must have been lucky they had an OC like you. You brought them out clean without
Absolutely
casualty.
clean. Absolutely clean. When we landed up at Foothills, the GOC of 5 Dev and as Colonel GS, who was a gunner, they were receiving these stragglers. And when they saw my column coming, they were surprised. We were marching as we have come back after doing our training camp uh, and firing the guns. The total column was marching as one column and with a lot of spirit. They really appreciated the fact that this is the only column which we have received, which was absolutely fit. Otherwise, they were all stragglers. And can you imagine? We had every single weapon with us, our personal weapons, as well as guns, as well as certain amount of ammunition.
And the mules survived, sir.
Yeah, mules survived. There were one or two mules which fell down during the night while we were withdrawing. So we had to destroy them. The orders were that if the mule gets injured, it can't recover. So you got to destroy it. So I did destroy, I think, two or three of my mules who fell down um, in the in the hilly area, and we had to destroy them.
Out of the
Otherwise,
30 mules, out of the
say again,
30 mules you had, out of the 30 mules you
yeah,
had.
about 30, 32 we had. So rest of all of them came back. And I must mention here that the second section of my battery, that is 7 Bengal, was taken over by Lieutenant Akshay Kapila. He did a fantastic role with me in the Bumla battle. Thereafter, with one section, he played a very important role in the Bomdila battle. Bomdila, our battery commander, Major Brigadier Singh, and his BC party got killed ahead of Bomdila, Tawang or something. I forget the name of the place. They were sporting uh, 5 guards.
So at the end of the day, sir, 7 Bengal battery, mountain battery under the then, Captain Gosal got out clean. They did their job. They fired 800 rounds on the Tompenla axis and they got out clean. I mean, maybe with a casualty of 2 mules. That is the story of the 1962 wars. And that one story, I mean, will
Yeah,
stand out. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for your time. The nation is grateful to you, and let posterity know what Captain Gosal had done with the Bengal Mountain Battery. Thank you, sir.
thank you so much. Very kind of you. I'm
It's
I,
our privilege,
I'm
sir, and the viewers' privilege.
I'm very proud of my boys who played an excellent role in these operations. I'm very proud of them.
They deserve it, sir. They deserve it. Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night. God bless you.
Our privilege, sir.